Hey everybody, good evening. Let's bring up this view here because that's what we're going to start with. Hey, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. So today we're going to do a little stuff that's a little different from psychology, and I hope that's okay with all of my loyal viewers. Because of the wonderful things he does. No, because I'm really excited about all of the perseverance stuff. I really am excited about all of that perseverance stuff. And so I want to play around with the sounds that that came out of NASA. The sounds of Mars. So that's what we're going to be doing. Make that bigger. Yeah. So I've got Adobe Audition open, and we are going to we're going to play with that. Yeah, we're going to play with these sounds. First, we're going to look at the sounds of Perseverance with the sounds of Mars, and then because they did it already for us, we're going to look at what and sort of blow up my Audition's frequency analysis tool to get all of the information about it. I mean, the sounds have been translated to a level that, you know, we can read or hear, right? So the bottom one is what we're going to look at first. Okay. So here's Mars plus Percy. Okay. Nothing looks too fancy here. And I'm going to just double check that you guys will be able to hear this. So the whirring sound, you have to turn up. The whirring sound is Percy, right? So this is what we have here, and I think this is really cool. So one of the things that you can get from just this information, first of all, this is what's called the waveform, this up at the top here, and then down here is the spectral frequency display. So this is telling you what sounds are present at different frequency levels here. So and how you read this is black means no sound. Okay, black means no sound, and different shades of red to orange mean that there is sound present, and the deeper the orange, the deeper the yellow means that it is a large feature of the sound profile. So here you'll notice down on both sides, you have a very deep shade here, very deep yellow shade. That means there's a lot of sound profile in the low end of the spectrum here. Okay. And we're going to look at it at a better graph here in a second to analyze this sound, because from here we can't really tell where it is, because this is only 1,000. This is only 1,000. This is only 1,000 hertz. So we need to. This is much lower sounds. And as far as frequency is concerned, low numbers of hertz are deeper bass sounds to our ears, because it's fewer back and forth of the sound pressure waves. So what ends up happening is when we hear high-pitched sounds, our eardrum's doing this. When we hear low sounds, it's doing this. Okay. So this is really cool. Now, if you don't think it's cool, I will fight you, but that's okay. So we're going to look at this in a this frequency graph, but I'm going to pop this out so I can make the graph bigger. So I'm I think undock. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. What to look for when you're hearing that, when you're looking at this, when you're hearing it, and when you're looking at it, is look down here at the bottom of the graph. Okay, we have hertz. We have 30 hertz right here. Generally speaking, humans, the deepest bass human voice is around 100 to 200 hertz. Okay. Low rumbling sounds generally are going to be between 1 hertz and 100. Okay, low rumbly sounds. I gotta reset my playhead here. So we're gonna look at this whole thing one at a time, and I can change my scale if I want to linear. I want to do it on logarithms first, which changes where each of these things are. So 20,000 hertz right here is generally speaking the not the highest levels that the human ear can hear, but hear clearly. Okay, hear clearly. So if we play this, there's the wind. You can see it grows. It gets louder. That is awesome. That's Mars, y'all. Well, we'll isolate this. All of this high frequency stuff over here is Percy. And of course we need to ignore Percy. So what I want to do, I'm going to move this off screen here for a sec. What I want to do is just open Mars. This is Mars. This is Mars. Remember I said on the spectral frequency, there are black means no sound at that frequency level. So watch this. That is so cool. Mars. These winds are fairly high powered too. That's Mars. Oh my God. Let's see what it looks like on a linear scale. Yeah, see, the problem with the linear scale is I can't make this lower end. Can't make this lower end any bigger. I'd much prefer to see that. But here you can see on linear, there are very few high-pitched sounds. No mids, no high pitch. Well, few. But at minus 95 decibels, you're not going to hear that anyways. So I'm going to switch it back to log. So here are the amplitude statistics. I don't know how well you're going to be able to read this on this a smaller size screen, but just Mars itself. So there's a peak amplitude of negative 8 decibels. So that's, if we were to compare that with what we normally listen to when we listen to stuff. So 8 decibels is right here. Okay. So that's the peak amplitude. So that's the loudest it gets. And that's about right here. And that's generally speaking in the range of tolerable. Now, are the sounds going to be louder or quieter? Well, they're going to be quieter. That same wind on Earth would probably be deafening. That same wind would be deafening. So here we have just minus 8 decibels. And that's its true peak as well. And I don't know how much. So obviously they process this audio to remove Percy's sounds. So I don't know if if they've done any other kinds of sound processing on this stuff. I mean, it doesn't really look like it. I can make this louder if I really wanted to, and I will probably in just a minute. The average amplitude is negative 44 decibels. That's fairly quiet. It's fairly quiet. So if they haven't done any kind of gain, additional gain on this to give it to the public, well, then negative 44 is fairly quiet. Fairly quiet. Loudness, perceived loudness. I wonder if they did modify this, to be honest with you. Because the perceived loudness is minus 18 LUFS, LUFS. And that's, I mean, for stereo, generally speaking, minus 16, but which is slightly louder than minus 18. But that's interesting to me. And it's mostly, well, I don't know if those are exactly the same channels, right and left. They look to be almost identical. I can't see any difference between right and left. So this could have been a mono recording, or a what's called a dual mono track. Yeah, I wonder if they increased before they published it. I don't know. I wonder if there's information online about whether or not they did. And not to blow out your eardrums, but let's increase it here by 8 dBs. Okay. It'll start getting louder in just a minute.